Hello there, how you doing? Joe here from Your Lifestyle Business. And if you are anything like me and you have a notes app on your phone with your to-do list on it, you have a Trello or Todoist on your computer with your to-do list on it, you use Evernote to take some notes, you use a notepad with what you're going to do today, and then when you actually decide what you're going to do, you're looking in 4 or 5 different places to figure out where you put that note that you're looking for, then today's episode is going to help you. I jumped on a Facebook Live with my good buddy Pip Meecham from projectbox.com.au, and Pip helps small business owners obliterate the overwhelm. She helps you create systems and automation so that you are super productive. And today we talked about what sounds like a phenomenal piece of software that I think is going to add huge value to my business. So listen in, check out the chat. It was good fun, and I hope it really helps you with your lifestyle business.
Wouldn't you love to build a business you can run from anywhere in the world, whether that be your kitchen table or a beach in Fiji? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Your Lifestyle Business, the show where I bring you into my life as a traveling entrepreneur and along with some of my awesome guests, give you tips and strategies for building your own freedom business. Welcome to the show. Let's make it happen.
All right, here we are. We are live. We are inside the Your Lifestyle Business group. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you are joining us, this is Joe, and I'm here with the lovely Pip Meecham. How are you, Pip?
I'm very well, Joe. How are you?
I'm very good. It's I'm in Phuket, Thailand. It's very grey outside and it's pouring down with rain because we're just coming into rainy season, which actually is a season I love. And you are on the Gold Coast, I believe, are you, Pip?
I sure am, yes. And it is grey and cloudy and cold here too.
Oh, beautiful though. I love the Gold Coast. Love the Gold Coast.
Perfect time of year.
Yeah. Okay, so Pip is from Project Box. Pip is the owner of Project Box. I am going to let you, because I know I'll stuff it up if I try and explain what it is. I know it's all about systems and organisation and automation and everything that a business needs to become super efficient. But why don't you tell us what Project Box is, Pip?
Sure. So I look at how people do the things that they do in their business. So really delving down into the way that they are actually performing everything, actually doing it all. So looking at how their workflows and their processes are done, what tools they're using, the steps that they're going through to achieve certain tasks and certain outcomes to try and help make them more efficient, more effective, put automation into place, make sure they're using the tools that they're using to the best of their ability.
Okay. What kind of companies do you tend to work with?
Mostly professional services, so everything from accountants, lawyers, graphic designers, all the way through to the creatives, so photographers, that kind of thing. Not so much e-commerce, but starting to get into that a little bit more now as well, as people are trying to find faster ways to manage their incoming orders.
Yeah. And how long have you been running the company?
Coming up 4 years. In a couple of weeks, it's my 4-year birthday.
Fantastic. And so what was your background before getting into this then? What kind of took you into systems and organisation, if you like?
Yeah, so I've spent all of my life ever since I left high school doing operational and admin kind of roles. About 6 years ago now, 6.5 years ago, I started my own virtual assistant business back before VAs were a really big thing. Realized after a couple of years it wasn't what I was meant to be doing and that I had a specific skill set around systems. So Project Box was born.
So when you were a VA then, have you ever seen the program on telly called Suits? Were you like a super, there was a girl on Suits called Donna, I think her name was, and she was like uber organised. She was like Miss Systems. Did you find that was you? And that's why you wanted
that was me.
Yeah.
So I'd be looking at people would delegate things to me and I'm going, there's better ways to do this. And I'd literally end up rejigging half their business while doing their stuff for them. And that's when I kind of went, I've got a knack for this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do not have a knack for it at all. In fact, literally just before getting on the call with you, something I was working on this morning is I sat down and I've got it here on my pad. I sat down and I started writing out all of the different things that need to happen in all of the different parts of my business because I'm getting so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And there's so much I want to do. And I'm thinking to myself, right, I need to start employing people. I need a superstar VA was in my head. I need a really superstar VA because I need help with my blog and I need help with my podcast. I need help with my social media. I need help with all this kind of stuff. And actually, that brings me to my first question. And this is, I'm going to use this as a little bit of a coaching session for me, but I know that by doing so, it's going to help the people listening as well.
Sure.
As somebody who needs help in all these different facets of the business, some of it is kind of, more creative. The other side is really kind of getting in there in social media and creating posts and creating content and stuff like that, and helping me deliver the content that I already create. Do you, when somebody is a small business, a solopreneur, if you like lots and lots of my audience are, do you suggest that they start with a kind of a superstar VA, if you like? Is that one of the best places then to start, to go out and try and find one person who's a little bit of a girl Friday or boy Friday, man Friday, if you like, or is there a better way of doing it?
Yep. So the key around that is finding someone who actually specializes in those tasks that you need to do. So some VAs will specifically specialize in social media or in graphic design or within project management, or even there are some systems VAs. So a Girl Friday is not necessarily the best solution depending on what it is that you want them to do. There is no harm at all having multiple people do different roles within the business, as long as you've got the system set up in the back end to support that and to support the communication as well, especially if things are flowing from one person through to another. If you can find a superstar Girl Friday, fantastic.
Yeah.
That obviously that's the ideal situation if you can do that, but most VAs these days will specialize in a specific area.
Now, what kind of systems do you need, especially for people who are working online? And the chances are, because even me, I mean, we've been traveling for the last 10 years and I've worked all over the world, and there's absolutely no way that I can be in one place and have like 2 or 3 people in an office with me, which would be the ideal. I mean, I would love that. I'd love to have a couple of people who are sat right next to me so that we can, the minute I publish a blog post, we can discuss it and they can then go out and do all the content and stuff like that. But it just doesn't work like that. So what are some of the key tips, if you like, for managing from afar, for having 2 or 3 people that you do work with and being able to communicate efficiently with them from across the web?
Yep. So definitely a project management tool. Now, I don't like calling it project management tools because everyone automatically assumes that it's there to manage projects. So I like to call them business management tools now, because within that, you can start to break down all of your systems. You can bring in all of your communication. You can keep everything in that one spot and be able to have that bird's eye view over everything that's going on in the business as well, because that's often the hardest thing when other people are completing tasks, is not knowing exactly what's being worked on, who's working on it, where things are up to, what's coming up next. Whereas having that tool in place to manage all of that for you takes away a lot of the decision fatigue and a lot of the thinking that goes in line with running a business.
Okay. And do you have any specific tools that you recommend?
I love ClickUp. So most people will,
I haven't even heard of ClickUp. Wow, okay.
So ClickUp is very quickly becoming the #1 project management tool in the world. It takes the best of Asana, Trello, Monday, all of those other ones, and puts it into one platform to the point where they even have their own version of Slack. They've got their own version of documents. They've got everything. And it's incredibly affordable as well, which when you're as a solopreneur, sometimes, spending out hundreds of dollars a month on software is just not viable. ClickUp makes it very easy to manage your business within its parameters.
Well, how interesting, because I was listening to a podcast recently, actually, and 2 of the ladies were talking about Asana, I think it was. And I have used Asana before, simply from the point of view that I've done like a website project and the developers have said, we're going to invite you into our Asana and update with what's going on. And I've literally taken one look at it and thought, oh God, that's way too complicated. I'm not even going to try and figure that out. And then when they were talking about the separate thing called Slack, which is the messaging. Yeah. And I thought, wow, so you've got a project management tool there and then you've got a messaging tool there. So now we're talking about 2 tools, which again sounds too complicated for me. And ClickUp does that all. Yeah.
All in one.
I'm checking it out. I'm going to check ClickUp.
Yeah, look, definitely do. It's one of those tools that can really condense down a lot of everything else that you're using.
And you mentioned Trello in there as well, as you were saying that. And I am a Trello user. I do quite like the old visual boards of Trello.
Yeah.
do. And so they kind of combine a little bit of that in there as well.
Yeah, so you can view to look at it like a Trello board, like a Kanban style board.
Wow.
So you can either have it in, a normal list, which is what Asana does, or you can have it in the Kanban style, which is what Trello does. And you can customize it to work however you want it to work.
Oh, do you need a degree in technology to work it out, or is it quite simple?
It's simple to use. You just need to have a bit of a strategy before you dive headfirst into it.
Okay.
Because you can quickly waste a lot of time working out what goes where and how you need to look at things.
Yeah, okay. All right, okay. Well, all right, click.
So definitely look at that. Even just for managing, the other problem with a lot of project management tools as well is, say, for example, you're driving home and you need to remember to buy milk. In a lot of other tools, you have to create like a full task just to remember to buy milk.
Yep.
The great thing is ClickUp as well is you can create a reminder. So things will pop up on my phone just going, hey, Pip, buy milk.
Oh.
Don't forget to post this. Like literally little reminders.
So do you use it for personal as well then? Do you kind
Yeah.
of... Yeah, you do. Oh,
Yeah.
great. I like that. It's a real all-in-one then. I like that. I do.
It is. Yeah. 100%. It's cut out so many different tools in my business.
Yeah.
Then I'm working out, more and more ways all the time now. So I manage my full sales pipeline in there now too, and have specific dashboards that show me exactly where my business is at financially at any given time.
Okay.
Which is cool as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say you don't want to hire anybody yet, and right now you just want to do all the projects yourself because you don't, you're not enough income to hire anybody. Do you still recommend a project management tool like ClickUp, for instance, to help you manage all the jobs?
100%.
So, for instance, let's just say I didn't want a VA, but I've got I've got 10 tasks under what I need to do with my blog. I've got 10 tasks under my podcast. I've got 10 tasks under my Facebook. So you would still recommend a project management tool to help me manage all of that, even without another member of staff, yeah?
Yeah, so the problem is when you don't have something like that, your brain can only hold so much information. It's only capable of processing so much, and it wastes a lot of time trying to sort through all of that information to go, okay, what's next? What's the next step? What do I need to do? Having a business management tool like that in place, it literally becomes your boss and says, hey, Joe, the next thing you need to do is this.
Oh, wow.
If you're publishing a blog post, here's all the things you need to have made sure that you've done so you don't skip anything.
Yeah.
The only reason Project Box has survived for so long with just me working in it is because of that business management tool. There is no way that I could have remembered every single little thing. A good example is when you build a sales funnel. If you're using software, say ClickUp or Lead Pages, there's a whole bunch of different little steps that sit in underneath that, and you forget one, and that sales funnel doesn't work.
Yeah.
So even having, that allows you to kind of build out all of those steps so you can quickly flip through it and go, yep, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that. We're good to go.
Yeah. What I like the sound of it is, like, for instance, I have a system for my podcast. I mean, this is a prime example of what I'm doing with you right now. This is a Facebook Live. When this finishes, I will do a quick extra intro so that it becomes that I can put it on my podcast with a little intro, and I can also put it on YouTube, but it kind of makes more sense. And then the video gets loaded up into subtitles, so there's subtitles on it. Then we have to download the transcription that goes off to my VA, who then, has to make sure it all fits nicely and goes in the blog. And there's all these little steps to turn this Facebook Live into a podcast and a YouTube video and something I can put on IGTV and then split it up and put it on as little clips across Facebook. And there's all these little steps that, I want to be able to work out and have somewhere and then instantly be able to share with somebody else rather than having to write them all out again each time or make videos each time and say, so for instance, if I go and create a system today on, Instagram, and I put it in the project management tool, I take it that means then that I can go and share that when I bring on a member of a new team member, and I can say, look, here's my Instagram system. I now want you to follow that. Is that what I can do?
Correct. And you just delegate the tasks to them that they need to do versus the ones that you need to do. And it's literally just walking through and completing it step by step.
Now, isn't that clever? The reason I really like the sound of what we're talking about, you're really helping me clear some fog in my brain here. I hope it's going to be useful to our listeners as well. But the reason I really like the sound of that is because I talk a lot on blog posts and stuff like that about when you start your business, even as a solopreneur, to start with the end in mind. And so create organizational charts and job descriptions, if you like, along the way, right? Because to know, even if you can't afford to anybody yet, to know the job that you want other people to do as you're doing your business is like really important, because it's kind of sorts out in your head what you want to do, what people want to do. So if you're able to have a tool which allows you to start putting in your processes that you're doing every day and the systems that you're creating for yourself, then all of a sudden, when you now start to think, okay, I don't have the time to do everything, and you want to start outsourcing, you've actually already got the whole job list and the job description and everything all in place, haven't you? And all you've now got to do is pick them tasks out and go and find somebody.
Exactly. It becomes very easy to delegate to other people. And if you take that a step further, and you start recording little training videos on how to do those actual tasks, you've got a full induction program. It becomes really easy to bring other people into the business to literally hit the ground running.
That's awesome. That is so good. I love that. Thank you for that. That's brilliant. Okay.
It's my favorite thing about the whole running of a business is this business management tool. I think people underestimate the power of it. Yeah. For me, I can sit here and talk to you right now and there are no other thoughts going through my mind because the business management tool has everything. I don't have to think about anything else except what I'm focusing on right now. And for a lot of people, especially solopreneurs, there's so much going on all the time that it is really hard to find that focus on what to do next. And this literally tells you.
And for me, with somebody with my brain, in all seriousness, I've got Trello running. Yeah, I've got, which I quite like for some of its features, but not all. And then as I hold up my notepad, have got lists of things here in my notepad, which I don't like because the minute I start traveling again, the notepad will get left behind. So there's not a lot of point in using that. Then she holds up her phone and opens her notes app, because I've got all sorts of priority lists and jobs and things to do in Notes app, because that gives me a quick rundown. And, I've got stuff everywhere. I haven't got it all in one. So I'm totally bloody disorganized all the time, because I'm like, where did I write that? Did I put that in Evernote or Trello or in my pad on my notes?
Exactly. And look, when that's taking just the business to-dos, like stuff you need to do to keep the back end of the business running. Then you've got client management on top of that as well. And, breaking down the work that you're actually doing for clients, knowing exactly what stage they're up to, the process you go through and onboarding them to make sure that you're doing everything consistently and that everyone's getting the exact same level of service all the time without you having to think about it, which is what is cool.
Yeah. So if you run a service-based business in, anything you do, if you run a Facebook ads agency or you run an email business or you're doing web development or graphic design or anything like that, then a project management tool allows you to put in all the details of the client job and break it down. And does the client get access to that as well then? Do they see what
if you want them to? Right. You've got the choice of whether you can allow them to see it or not.
Right, okay. Fantastic. Gosh, isn't it? I love technology. I mean, I literally adore it. Yeah. I mean, the more these people come up with this stuff to make our life easier, I know we're getting a bit lazy, but I also love technology. I really do.
I say to people, technology is like crack for me. It's like I see it and I'm gone.
I love it. I'm the same. It's brilliant. Addicted to technology. Awesome. Okay, so... Oh, wow, that was a lot in a short...
Sorry, it's a bit mind-blowing, yeah.
No, that's okay. I'm just looking at the questions that I have for you and thinking it would be a good question to follow up on now. Okay, so imagine I am a small business, which is what most of my audience are, and I have got lots and lots of things I want to be doing. When I'm starting to build that business, what do you think are some of the most important things I need to be focusing on first, to really get some basics in place to make sure that I'm quite systemized in going out in my approach to, producing content or whatever?
Yeah, that business management tool falls under that as well, because that is really what is going to allow you to break down exactly what it is that you need to do, and also give you something to focus on and work towards as well. Because when you're just starting out in business, like I know when Project Box first started, there's so many different things that you have to do and all these recommendations people are giving you about the things that you should be using. Having it noted down somewhere to give you some accountability to keep moving towards things is probably by far my biggest.
Okay, all right.
And my total lifesaver.
I know that you run your business, and I also know that you have a family that you look after, and I know obviously we've just been through this currently going through this crazy lockdown period and all the rest of it. So just talk us through, as somebody with that kind of organizational mind, which you have, just talk us through how you kind of organize your day. Do you organize your day in, because I've been looking at this lately as well. Do I break my day into like 2-hour slots of, so I'm going to do my blog then I'm going to do Instagram, then I'm going to do this? Or do I break it into days where I say, right, I'm going to be in this zone, I'm going to do my blogging on that day, how do you break down your days, and what do you find one of the most efficient ways to kind of organize your time?
Yep. So for me, I have a daughter who's at school, which luckily she went back to school yesterday. Yay. Thank goodness. Touch wood, she stays there. But for me, it's setting really clear guidelines on when I'm working and when I'm not. So what's work time, what's family time. Family life for me is very, very structured in the morning because obviously we need to be out the door by 8:30. Yep. So we have a very strict routine in terms of what time we need to be out of bed by. It gives us time to sort of, cuddle and hang out, what time we need to be dressed by to get out the door. Once it turns into work time, I don't time block. I find it doesn't work for me, and it actually makes me feel a little bit of a failure because I can't adhere to those time blocks. So I am very good at, I have a lot of meetings during the day, obviously with clients and different things like that. I've got systems in the back end now that set up buffers around meetings. So I've got time to prep, I've got time to do follow-up afterwards. And then in between all of that, I slot in the project work for clients. If I have a day where I just know I need to do project work, I'll just block out the whole day.
Yeah.
Or half a day or whatever it's going to be. So it's kind of analyzing what needs to be done right now and slotting it in. But I won't go, hey, Instagram needs doing today. I need to allow 2 hours a week just to do Instagram posts. My brain doesn't work like that. I find if I have to force myself to be creative, creativity doesn't come.
But do you find that because of that, do you ever find that you don't get something done because you've kind of focused on something else through the week and you really needed to do that, but you kind of didn't block it in? Do you ever find that?
I find having my list, so the way my business management tool works is it has a list of things that I need to do each day. I find as long as I have that, it tends to keep me on track. Now, it does require a lot of self-discipline to adhere and make sure I do stick to that. And don't get me wrong, I'm completely human, and some days I'll stumble across new software and spend 2 hours down the rabbit hole trying to figure out, how it works and how it can benefit people and all of that kind of stuff. But it's making sure you can bring yourself back to what you need to do.
Yeah.
It's also that little to-do list of what I need to do becomes a very quick way actually to identify what's important and what's not. I have stuff on that to-do list that's been popping up for a year. And I snooze it every time. Wait 2 weeks, wait 2 weeks. I now have a rule that if it's still popping up a year later, I delete the task because it wasn't important. If it was, I would have got it done.
You would have done it by now. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you really need to identify how you work best. Start to put in those habits. I know as soon as I sit down at my computer in the morning, I check my calendar to see what's coming up in my day. And then I check the business management tool to see what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I'll try and match it up as much as possible and kind of fill in the gaps. Some people work really well on time blocking. I'm just not one of them.
Yeah, no, I too tend to, become a failure when I time block out.
Exactly.
I get really into what I'm doing and I don't want to stop after 2 hours. I'm always talking to my community about hard deadlines, set hard deadlines. When 12 o'clock comes, that's it, move on. And then there's me there still at 1 o'clock going, I just really want to finish this though.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes the problem is, you set that 2 hour time block and you're right, 12 o'clock comes around and you're in the best frame of mind to keep pushing through with that work. To stop it and refocus on something else, you're actually losing time. So I would rather push on with that task and just get it done and knock it over than have to kind of refocus on something and then come back to it again later and find that same flow.
Something actually that's really worked well for me over the last few months has been actually setting less tasks in my day. So rather than having a to-do list, which is 10 big, I've literally been saying, right, I'm going to go out today and I'm going to get these huge 1 or 2 things done. And I think to myself, well, that's going to be easy. Of course you're going to get those 2 things done. I think to myself, but that's it. That's all I'm setting myself. And then what I do is I have this other list of stuff that I think if I get those done, then here's the other things I can now start to work on. Yeah. But I must go, they're my musts for the day, and then when I get those done, I think, yes, great, I've achieved that. I feel.
And how good does it feel? And you suddenly feel so motivated to keep going as well. So I'm the same. If it's got nothing to do with the meetings that are booked in for during the day. I'll only set 2 or 3 things, and those things need to take me anywhere between half an hour and an hour. If they're going to take me any longer, they need to be broken down into smaller steps.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they don't happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, so are there any other tools or anything that you use in your business other than your project management tool? Are there any other tools and things that small business owners need to be thinking about?
Yeah, so CRMs are a big one. And with the 2 parts of that being email marketing and then the actual CRM side of it as well. I use ActiveCampaign for my CRM, but I've started bringing the sales portion out of that and rebuilding it out into ClickUp just because my workflows are a lot easier to manage and I can get better reporting out of it.
Okay.
But ActiveCampaign for all my email marketing, and any sort of nurture sequences. I don't use that tool, however, though, for any client communication. I know a lot of people will use it to set up, onboarding sequences or offboarding or different parts of the client journey. I have chosen not to, purely because email software flags it as marketing software and it doesn't always end up in people's inbox.
Right.
So I specifically have separated it to go, okay, as soon as you become a client, everything happens in ClickUp.
Right.
All of the email marketing stuff, though, is taken care of by ActiveCampaign. And
ClickUp has like an instant messaging in it, so you can actually message your clients, on a different level as you would, because email marketing is much more about setting up those email marketing, autoresponder campaigns, or sending out broadcasts, or sending out updates, or whatever. But with a client, it really is that back and forward communication, isn't it? So that ClickUp has that, does it? That kind of instant messaging.
So as long as you invite the client in to be a part of, the project within ClickUp, yes, you can definitely do that. Otherwise, for me, that's part of what I set during my onboarding process is how we're going to communicate. Some people just need me to pick up the phone and call. Other people are a Facebook Messenger deal. Other people are email only. They don't want to hear from me unless there's something really wrong, So it's just part of that whole setup process.
So funny now, isn't it? The whole, some people want me to pick up and call. What literally pick up the phone and call? Is that, that's like so,
what?
Wow, I'm actually going to pick up the phone and speak to you. Yeah, these days, actually, I was laughing with a friend of mine the other day when we messaged each other to say, are you in? I'm going to call. And we were like, why don't we just call? We used to just call. Why do we now message ahead and say, I'm going to call?
Yeah, it's like you used to just stop at people's houses and pop in for coffee. We don't do that anymore.
It's crazy.
ActiveCampaign, ClickUp, G Suite, massive fan of G Suite, especially for small businesses and solopreneurs, just because of its ability to be able to integrate with everything else.
Okay.
Again, which is all around streamlining processes.
And G Suite does what exactly?
So there's Gmail, so Google Mail, Google Docs, Google Sheets. So everything pretty much the Microsoft suite of products does.
Yeah.
Google does. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't used G Suite either, actually. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so,
I use Sheets and Docs and stuff like that, but I've never kind of used it within the G Suite thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
so right. Those are probably the 3 main things that I use over and over. Then you've got things that sit outside of that, such as Stripe for taking payments, Calendly for appointments, and then getting everything to talk to each other via Zapier.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I use Calendly. I love it. I looked for so many different appointment scheduling things over the years. I mean, I really did try a lot of them, and Calendly ended up being the simplest and easiest to use, without a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, and it does everything you need it to do.
Yeah, it does. It's a great little piece of kit, Calendly. Now, just going back to ActiveCampaign, you are not the first person. I used ActiveCampaign many years ago, and then of course we changed our business model and went off and did e-commerce and blah blah blah, and I wasn't using email for a while. And I'm currently using Meecham, really clunky. Not a huge fan. And I've been looking at all the different email systems out there. And I keep coming back to ActiveCampaign. It seems to be at the top of everybody's lists now. It's obviously over the years has really improved its systems and is coming out as one of the leaders, I think, in email marketing at the moment, isn't it?
The automations that you can do inside it are fantastic. So being able to create really segmented customer journeys based on the actions that people are taking within the emails that you're sending them, but also on your website as well.
Yeah.
Whereas Mailchimp's very much send this email, wait 7 days, send this one, wait. ActiveCampaign, someone visits a page on your website, send this email. If they don't open it, send this one. But if they do, send this one, and then rerouting it. And it's incredible what you can do.
Very good. Yeah, those flows. Yeah. I used to use Infusionsoft many years ago. They had all those flows, but gosh, that was a complicated piece of kit. Okay, I knew that Lauren would join us. Hello, Lauren. I predicted this prior to us going live. And Lauren has asked, Pip, what's the big benefit of G Suite? We already use their suite of products without it.
Yeah, so for most people, the actual G Suite bit is just the email, the branded email domain, and being able to manage it. So, I'm obviously pip@projectbox.com.au. That all falls under the G Suite part of platforms, and being able to manage all of the users that are attached to that domain as well.
So you can have your own email under G Suite.
Yeah,
you can actually have your own. So I could have Joe at Your Lifestyle Business.
Yeah.
Within.
Yeah. So as long as you own the domain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can bring it in under G Suite. That's fine.
Awesome.
The other advantage is, access added storage within Google Drive and those kind of just added little features. But the big one is the branded email domains.
So that's great for a small business owner then, isn't it? That doesn't want to be, forking out for big email programs and stuff like that. They can just use.
Yeah. Yeah, so effectively my $16 a month that I pay to G Suite covers my whole Microsoft Office suite of products. It does all my email, all my file storage, all of those kind of things. It's a cost that adds up over the cost of a year, but for me, it's a cost well spent.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And because of how well it automates with everything else.
Yeah, how well it all sort of fits in. That's great.
Yeah.
And Lauren's asked another question. Does ClickUp replace Calendly? Or I know Lauren uses Acuity for her scheduling, but does ClickUp replace that or?
No.
That is a separate thing.
Yes, it is. Does not do appointment booking.
No. All right, well, that's awesome. That's been awesome. We've gone over my 30 minutes, but that's okay. Not to worry. That's just added a little bit of extra task on I have to put that in my ClickUp.
You will, yeah.
This is a quick shout out for Subtitle, the really awesome piece of software that immediately puts subtitles on your videos. All you have to do is upload your video into Subtitle. It puts subtitles on your video, and you just go through listening to your video at double speed and amending any mistakes, and away you go. You've got this beautifully subtitled video. However, at the moment, Subtitle only allow you to upload 30-minute videos. So this is a shout out, Subtitle. Increase that. Sometimes our videos go longer. Please give us 45 minutes at least. That's absolutely brilliant, Pip. This has been great, and I've learned a lot, and I think one of the biggest things to come out of this session today has been ClickUp. I think everybody on this session will now be going to check out ClickUp. I better go and get an affiliate link pretty damn quick, hadn't I? Thank you very much for joining us. Before we do go, I would just like to say, look, go and check out Pip. She runs all of this stuff for you. If you don't want to do it yourself and it all sounds a bit too overwhelming, then Pip can do all this for you. You just need to go to projectbox.com.au. Is that correct?
That's one. Yep.
I'll put a link anyway, somewhere around this video, wherever you're watching this video. Well, that's been great, Pip. Thanks so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me and picking my brain. Yeah. I love it.
No, it's been really good. And I love that some of the advice you've given us, and anything that can help get rid of that overwhelm and help us systemize and automate our businesses is surely going to help. So thanks very much, my darling. Thanks for joining us, and have an amazing day.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, that's us over and out. We will see you again next time. Thanks for joining us. Cheerio.
See ya.
Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. To join in the conversation, please head over to yourlifestylebusiness.com, where you can find links to podcasts, show notes, and sign up to download my free ebook, How to Build a Business You Can Run from Anywhere in the World. Also, make sure you come and join our Facebook community. Just search for Your Lifestyle Business on Facebook, and you'll soon be sharing ideas with like-minded entrepreneurs all on the same journey. Lastly, if you have a moment, please subscribe and quickly rate this podcast on iTunes. It takes 1/10 of a second to hit the little stars, and your rating will ensure it gets out to more people and impacts as many as possible with the message, make it happen. Thank you so much. See you next time.